I like the weeded mash bill. I've always liked Buffalo Trace. I know right now it's kind of not cool to like Buffalo Trace, but I like what they do. I think they're doing okay. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Jay from Whiskey Raiders. You may also find me on Weekly Whiskey here. I'm better known as Take across the internet, on Reddit, on Instagram, running the Bourbon single barrel program. Tonight, I have a really fun one. This bottle has been on my shelf for years now. I've celebrated with it. People drank this at my wedding. Really good time. This is Old Rip Van Winkle. This is their 10-year expression. It's 107 proof. It is a weeded bourbon produced at Buffalo Trace, but I figured what is more fun, killing it by myself or killing it here with you guys. So tonight we get a little backward hat take action now that the workday is done. Finished filming some other segments, and I thought maybe we'd just have a point of good time. So the question I always get is, should I pay extra for Van Winkle? So Old Rip Van Winkle is just one of many products in the Van Winkle line. There's the 12-year Lot B weeded bourbon. There's obviously the Pappy Van Winkles, the 15, the 20, the 23-year. There's things like the Van Winkle Family Reserve Rye. But this here is a 10-year-old bourbon. If you didn't catch it before, this should retail about $89, maybe $99. But the question people get, hey, I really want to try Pappy. I really want to try some Van Winkle. What price would you pay? So I figured we'd kind of cover that here while I had a final sip. The bottle is down on its last legs, probably just about a half an ounce less or so. I'll probably find a friend to kill this one off with, but man, weeded bourbon is so sweet. I love it. I have a total sweet tooth, but that's what I think is fun. So let's go and cover, Van Winkle. I think one of the interesting facets of Van Winkle is we never know how much they make, right? For a period of time when people would look into Buffalo Trace, we knew how many barrels they were dumping for releases. We knew how many bottles were coming out of these releases. We knew, I won't say everything, but we knew quite a bit about each release. So over the years, you could see them getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Finally, I want to say it was in 2017, maybe 2018. Go ahead and find that Weekly Whiskey barrel tracker sheet for the answer. I believe it was 2017, but it's been a long day. They stopped publishing this info. Now, an interesting part is that Van Winkle was never publishing this info. So every year, we have to imagine that they're probably scaling up production. They've got to be scaling up. They work directly hand in hand every year with Buffalo Trace. There's more of it on the shelves. You may not see it. I certainly don't, but there is more of it being made. So people ask, should I pay some money for a dusty bourbon? Should I pay for that limited I super want? Or should I overpay on secondary, maybe on Facebook for a Van Winkle product because I've never tried one? And my answer, I think at one point, if you're celebrating a wedding or a promotion and you absolutely need that for some reason, it's fine. I don't like to encourage people to buy on secondary. I think it's risky. There's a lot of fakes out there. There's people buying empty bottles on eBay, reselling them, flipping them for fake profit. You don't know what you're getting. Not only is that just kind of sucks because you don't get what you think you're getting, it's also a health hazard. What if they put something besides whiskey in that bottle? But beyond that, it's more of an ethical thing, right? Like people buying these to flip them. But really, I would say, I would pay maybe $150 for Old Rip Van Winkle. I think it's really nice. It's a 10-year whiskey, 107 proof hits right for me. I don't need it to be barrel proof. I like the weeded mash bill. I've always liked Buffalo Trace. I know right now it's kind of not cool to like Buffalo Trace, but I like what they do. I think they're doing okay. They're scaling up faster than really any other distillery I know, so there's something there. But overall, at the end of the day, it's just whiskey. I think that if you had $150 and you could buy Van Winkle today, this Old Rip, for instance, I'd say do it. Do it once. Do it for the experience. If you had it and it wasn't amazing, you should buy 3 Maker's Cast Strength instead. Maker's Mark is pumping them out for 50, maybe $60 all days long. They're super, super steady, super consistent. Honestly, super fun. They're just really good whiskey for the same price. I don't think you should break your neck, but I also think, there's nothing wrong with wanting to taste Van Winkle. It's cool. It's got an interesting story. It's one of the cooler stories I've ever heard. Honestly, it's delicious. They make good whiskey. There's nothing wrong with wanting Van Winkle. There's nothing wrong with chasing it. Going to a store now and then, asking, hey, we've been good friends. I've bought some product from you. Maybe could I have some Van Winkle this year? Don't be upset if you get told no, because that's probably going to happen. But it's worth a try. I really like Old Rip. There's a reason there's one on my shelf. I buy it when I see it. It's been, I want to say 4 years now since anyone offered me a Van Winkle at MSRP, but every now and then it is good to have. They're delicious and fun. Overall, drink what you like Like what you like. Don't overpay, especially don't pay for something where you don't know where it came from. That's important. But overall, I wouldn't pay $2,500 for Pappy Van Winkle 23-year. I probably wouldn't pay $2,000 for the 13-year-old rye, even though it is amazing. It's one of the best ryes I have every year. Use your brain. Think smartly about your finances. If you can't find Old Rip Van Winkle, you're not going to die. You might miss out on the experience, but honestly, it is good whiskey at best. Go get yourself a Maker's Cask Strength. Go get yourself a Bernheim. Go get yourself one of the new Old Elk wheated bourbons or wheat whiskeys. Those are absolutely killer. That's my advice. So take it from me. I have some here. You know, it's good. I've enjoyed the bottle. A lot of people have enjoyed this bottle with me. It's cool to share the experience, but I would not buy another unless it came up to me for less than $150. So that's my answer. Buy Van Winkle if you can. If you can't, don't sweat it. You aren't missing out on the best whiskey that has ever walked the planet. Buy Maker's Mark Cask Strength instead. You'll thank me later. So thank you guys. It has been Take here again. Better known as Jay. You can find me over at whiskeyraiders.com. You can always find me here at Weekly Whiskey. You can find me on Reddit and Instagram as take.review. I'm running the Our Bourbon Single Bar program, doing lots of cool stuff. We have a lot of wheated whiskey in the pipe, so maybe join on up and find us, or you can try one of our wheat whiskeys too. It's been a cool time. There's lots of good stuff flowing. The golden days of whiskey are here, as my good friend John says. Thanks, guys. See you here. Like and subscribe. Maybe pass this on to your friend that's been hunting for Van Winkle for 3.5 years without no luck. Well, we'll help him out. Get him some good stuff instead, and I'll see you guys later.